I want you to imagine you are walking through the dense, humid floor of the Amazon rainforest. You look down at a leaf and you see an ant. It looks normal at first, but if you look closer, you notice something wrong. The ant isn't working. It isn't following the pheromone trails of its colony. It is stumbling. It is twitching. It looks like it is drunk. Suddenly, the ant leaves the ground. It climbs up the stem of a plant. It climbs to a very specific height, exactly 25 centimeters above the forest floor. It crawls to the underside of a leaf. It bites down on the main vein of the leaf with a force so strong that its jaw muscles lock permanently. This is called the death grip. And then, the ant dies. But the story doesn't end there. A few days later, the back of the ant's head bursts open. A long, alien-like stalk grows out of its brain. It grows upward, curling like a horn. And then, the tip of the stalk explodes, showering the forest floor below with millions of deadly spores. This isn't a scene from a science fiction movie. This is the life cycle of Cordyceps unilateralis, the zombie ant fungus. It is a parasite that doesn't just kill its host, it hijacks its body. It takes over the muscles. It steers the animal like a driver steers a car. For the ant, it is a prisoner in its own body. It is forced to march to its own grave to spread the infection to its family. How does a fungus, something with no brain, no eyes, and no nervous system, know how to drive an ant? This is the part that scares biologists the most. The fungus acts with terrifying intelligence. It is incredibly precise. If the ant climbs too high up the tree, the air is too dry, and the fungus will dry out and die. If the ant stays too low on the ground, the air is too wet, and the fungus will rot. So, the fungus steers the ant to the Goldilocks zone exactly 25 centimeters high, usually on the north side of the plant, where the humidity and temperature are mathematically perfect for the spores to grow. It manipulates the ant using a chemical cocktail that we still don't fully understand. When scientists looked at the infected ants under a high-powered microscope, they found something chilling. The fungus invades the ant's entire body. It wraps around the muscle fibers. It creates a 3D network that allows the fungus to control the legs directly, bypassing the ant's own nervous system. But it leaves the brain intact. The fungus cuts the connection between the ant's brain and its body. This implies that the ant is fully conscious during the entire process. It can see, it can smell, it knows that it is leaving its colony. It knows it is biting the leaf, but it cannot stop itself. It is the ultimate body horror. A silent passenger trapped in a vehicle that has been hijacked by a mushroom. So, the big question, the question that millions of people asked after watching The Last of Us is simple. Can it happen to us? Could a fungus evolve to hijack a human brain? Right now, you're safe. And the reason you are safe is your body heat. Most fungi cannot survive inside a human body because our internal temperature is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. We are simply too hot for them. Millions of years ago, mammals evolved to be warm-blooded specifically to create a thermal barrier against fungal infections. We pay a high metabolic price to keep our bodies warm, but it keeps the mushrooms out. However, there is a problem. A big problem. The world is getting hotter. Climate change is slowly raising the average temperature of the planet. This forces the fungi in the wild to evolve. They are learning to survive in higher temperatures. They are adapting to the heat. As the gap between the outside temperature and our body temperature shrinks, the thermal barrier is getting weaker. We are already seeing the first cracks in the wall. In 2009, a fungus called Candida Auris appeared out of nowhere. It didn't start in one place. It popped up in hospitals in Japan, Africa, and South America almost simultaneously. It is resistant to drugs. It survives on surfaces for weeks. And most importantly, it can survive inside the heat of the human body. It enters the bloodstream and causes organ failure. It kills up to 60% of the people it infects. Some scientists believe Candida auris is the first fungus to adapt to the warming climate and break the barrier. It is the scout. The Cordyceps fungus has been evolving for millions of years. Right now, there are thousands of different types. One targets ants. One targets spiders. One targets moths. Each one is a specialist, designed to unlock the biology of a specific host. Humans are complex. We have immune systems. We have medicine. But fungi are the masters of adaptation. They reproduce fast. They mutate fast. We inhale fungal spores every single day. Usually, our immune system scrubs them out. But as the fungi get stronger, and as the planet gets hotter, the biological distance between ant and human is getting smaller. We might not turn into running zombies that bite people. The rage zombie is a Hollywood invention. But a fungus that can hijack our nervous system? A fungus that can release chemicals like psilocybin or LSD to change our behavior? A fungus that makes us less social or more aggressive or simply confused? That isn't science fiction. That is just biology waiting for the right mutation. Nature is constantly trying to find a way to eat us. We have won the war for the last few million years because of our fire, our medicine, and our body heat. But the fungus is patient. It doesn't need to rush. It just needs to wait for the temperature to rise 1 more degree. So, the next time you see a mushroom growing in the wild, give it some space. Don't breathe it in, because it might be looking for a new driver. I am your host. Stay warm. Subscribe.